Here's the time Kyle switched up his race.
Take over for Owens.
I'm 100% ready, Coach.
And here's Peter trying to convince Quagmire to get an abortion.
Have you considered abortion? Peter, I think it's too late for that.
South Park and Family Guy episodes usually age like fine wine, but those two aged like milk, and they're not the only ones. That's why today, I'm going to be going through some of the most badly aged episodes in the history of South Park and Family Guy, and putting them up against each other to find out which show has stood the test of time the best. Starting with round one, and South Park's up to bat first. With one of the more under-the-radar episodes that aged poorly, Butters' very own episode. It starts out pretty harmless with the little guy being pretty excited about his mom and dad's upcoming wedding anniversary, especially as they're going to celebrate at his favorite place.
How about on Saturday we all go have dinner at Bennigan's?
Bennigan's? Oh, boy, you mean it?
After the mini celebration, Butters' dad slips out, leaving his mom, who's pretty worried she hasn't gotten anything good planned for her husband's anniversary gift. So she asks Butters if he'll spy on his dad to see what he's getting her for their big day so she can get something that'll match. So Butters sets off to find out what his dad has planned, but it's way more than he could ever imagine.
Dad's going to see a movie. How nice.
Fisting firemen, the White Swallow bathhouse? If it's a surprise Butters' mom wants, it's a surprise she's gonna get. But I don't think they do happy anniversary I'm secretly gay cards.
Oh my God.
Must have been a real short movie, though, because Dad came out like 10 minutes later. It must have been a sad film, too, because he had a bunch of tissue paper with him when he came out. Poor old Dad.
Turns out Butters did more than watch. He brought his own camera and took pictures as well.
Inspector Butters gets all the facts. I even got some neato pictures. The only thing I can't figure out is why Dad told you he was going shopping for your present when he was going out seeing movies.
After finding out about her husband's secret life, Linda has a complete mental breakdown to the point that she tries to kill Butters.
It's okay, baby. Mommy will be with you very soon.
Yep, it looks like the car's filling up with water. Yeah, come back inside the car and drive, Mom.
And then herself.
Dear bastard husband. No, dear lying son of a... No, I will no longer...
Lyndon, what are you doing?
Stay away from me, bastard!
Chris comes clean to her about his secrets, not that she doesn't know, and says that he wants help to get through this part of his life, that he's addicted to secrecy, but most importantly, he loves her and Butters, who Linda thinks she's killed.
Everything's spun out of control for me! I drowned Butters in the car, Chris!
Oh no.
Well, not quite. Butters is still alive and kicking, or should I say alive and swimming, or technically surfing?
Boy, this thing ain't never gonna stop.
With Butters out of town and with, a whole missing kid to explain, Chris and Linda spin the story that someone carjacked Linda at gunpoint and abducted Butters.
And took her son away. When asked who the man was, Miss Stotch replied, some Puerto Rican guy.
I know things are dark already, but they take an even darker turn when some parents from another town show up saying their kid has been killed by the same man.
We saw your story on the news. We're so sorry to hear about your loss. We realized the man that murdered your son must be the same person that killed our daughter.
Yeah, because we certainly didn't do it.
No.
Just for a little bit of context here, John and Patsy Ramsey are a real-life couple who made headlines after their daughter, John Bennett, was murdered. And at the time, it was heavily rumored the parents were the ones to kill her. So, yeah, they're not the only people using Chris and Linda's cover story, though. There's also Gary Condit.
He also lost someone close to him and thinks it has something to do with the same Puerto Rican guy that hurt our kids.
Condit was also seriously linked to the death of a woman called Chandra Levy, who he had an affair with. Oh, and then there's this guy who joins the gang.
OJ.
Hey guys.
OJ's wife was killed by some Puerto Rican guy too.
Yep.
Butters, meanwhile, makes his way back home and surprises his mom and dad on their anniversary.
But your lines cover up something.
Happy anniversary!
Not now, Butters.
Oh, all right then.
Butters? Oh,
Son,
Butters!
I don't believe it.
Chris and Linda have no choice but to admit that Butters is back safe and that their Puerto Rico cover was faked. Now, the biggest reason why this is aged so poorly is that John, Patsy, and Gary were found to be completely innocent in the years since this episode aired. Now, sure, you may think they got off lightly, but take a listen to how Chris and Linda's speech is edited. First for Gary.
Thing that you're not telling us, you slimy scumbag liar.
And here's John and Patsy's.
Stop acting like victims and confess, you murdering murderers! Confess! Liar! And that's what people would be saying to us, and so...
Basically calling them 100% guilty is a bold choice, and in this case, it backfired for Trey and Matt. So much so that in 2011, they went on record to say that they regret how Condit and the Ramseys were portrayed in this episode. It might not be the episode that's aged the worst, but if the boys regret it, you know it's bad. But that's only the first half of our poorly aged first round, as up to bat for Family Guy is the episode Life of Brian. I know that some of you guys cringed when I said the title then. Well, that's why it's on a list like this. It starts like any other episode, Stewie and Brian on one of their time travel adventures where they almost get killed.
Get 'em, paleface!
So after that narrow escape, Stewie decides he's turning his back on time travel, and to prove it, he dismantles his time machine.
Oh my god, what are you doing? This time machine has almost killed us 100 times, Brian.
Man, it'd be a real shame if, say, your best friend got really badly hurt and now you didn't have a way of going back to save him. Yeah, that's my real subtle attempt at foreshadowing.
Look out!
And that's the end of the line for Brian. He ends up dying due to his injuries, and the family has to say goodbye.
Oh my God, Brian, no!
Damn it, Brian, you can't die. We were gonna do so many things together.
But it's not long before the family says hello to a brand new dog called Vinny.
So what do you say?
Okay, sure, it's a little soon after Brian dies, but hey, moving on is moving on, and the family needs that dog dynamic, so Vinny's a griffin for the foreseeable future, right? Wrong. It might have looked permanent, but Brian was brought back to life no less than 2 episodes later when Stewie realizes an old version of himself time-traveled to the mall. So with Vinny, he hunts the version of himself down and gets the pad back. Mainly thanks to Vinny.
Well, that is where you are wrong, my friend.
If Stewie's gonna go back to the past and undo the present, that means Vinny will never be a griffin because Brian doesn't die. And to be fair to Vinny, he takes it like a champ.
I'm man's best friend, not some stupid baby's best friend, right?
And after everything that happens with Brian in the future, honestly, they should have kept Vinny. Stewie goes and saves Brian from that maniac driver.
Brian, look out! What the hell?
Some of you might be thinking, Brian's back, why did age so poorly? Well, as we saw 2 episodes later, the show just holds a middle finger up to the fans. Like, people bought Brian's death and started warming up to Vinny, only to have the rug pulled from under them. Seth MacFarlane even went to Twitter after the Christmas Guy episode to say he'd have to be high to think about really killing Brian. Nice going, Seth. Way to make your fans lose trust and never care about anything in case you change it in 2 episodes' time. Plus, in retrospect, the entire episode of Life of Brian is just fracking meaningless. So let's head on over to the next round of episodes. Let's head on back to Colorado for our next terribly aged episode, Mr. Garrison's Fancy New. As far as titles go, can't say it's the strongest of starts, but the episode itself gets underway with Mr. Garrison about to go under the knife.
Hello, Mr. Garrison. I'll be performing your surgery today. God bless you, doctor.
And no, he's not there for a bit of liposuction. He's there to medically transition from male to female, if you get what I mean. He's always felt like a woman trapped inside a man's body, so this is a chance for him to feel like his true self.
This open, I can now discard of your so long.
Mr. Garrison's change goes pretty smoothly, and she can't wait to tell everyone how freeing being in her new body feels.
I'm one of you now! Wow, just look at all these tampons! I can't wait till I get my first pair!
Most people in town refuse to accept the new version of Garrison, and some are even pretty vocal about it.
Had a change? I'm taking you boys out of that school!
Gerald, that is very close-minded of you.
How are we supposed to explain this to our children?
It's very simple. You see, Kyle.
Well, Kyle's dad's worry about Garrison's operation setting a bad example for the kids she teaches does actually come true, but not in the way you'd expect.
The doctor who gave Mr. Garrison his change said he can make me tall and black.
What?
Obviously, Kyle's dad is furious about a doctor telling his son that he can be converted into a tall black dude, so he marches down into his office to give him a piece of his mind. But I got a feeling he's gonna come around to the idea of surgery himself.
Oh, you like dolphins, hmm?
I love dolphins, but that has hardly any bearing on what I'm here to—
I can make you one.
Surely he's gonna report this wacko doc to the authorities or something. He's not gonna actually have dolphin surgery, right?
Gerald!
That doctor is a miracle worker, Sheila. Look, Ike, your daddy's a dolphin.
Yeah, so if Kyle's dad had surgery, he can hardly tell his son not to do it himself, so that means that Kyle goes under the knife to change races and get a little taller. I'm not sure there's a word in the English lexicon to describe that. I don't think I was prepared throughout all my years of life to accurately describe what the frick just happened. Anyway, to make Kyle taller, the doc has made some new extended knees for him out of the waste products from Garrison's former family jewels, mind you, and let's just say they aren't strong enough to withstand a slam dunk. Kyle gets whisked away to the hospital with his dad to be put back to his original race and original species? This episode aired 20 years ago, and it's fair to say we've come a long way in 2 decades. Looking back on this episode now, seeing that nearly everyone in town was revolted by the idea that someone could change their would be very controversial these days, especially as it was directly compared to changing your race and species. Like, Garrison's womanhood is put on the same absurd level as Kyle's dad morphing into a fracking dolphin. To give the creators a little bit of slack, Trey and Matt have said that the plot for this episode was something they thought up in a very short amount of time, but they winged most of season 9 anyway, but this episode in particular was pretty thoughtless and originally and included 5 whole minutes of real change surgeries due to lack of ideas. Pretty uncomfortable watch for sure, and certainly an episode that's aged pretty horribly. But now it's time to turn back to Rhode Island as the episode Family Guy is the next poorly aged serving from those guys on Spooner Street. While doing the dirty, Peter finds a strange lump on Lois's body, so they head on over to Dr. Hartman to get to the bottom of it.
Mrs. Griffin, I've got good news. Your test results came back negative. Appears the lump in your breast is not black, gross boob death.
Oh good, well at least it's nothing serious. While Lois is there though, Hartman decides he's going to be a good doc for once and looks at Lois's family history to see if she's at risk for any future cancers, and while looking at Bab's record, he realizes that she's a Holocaust survivor and, well, Jewish.
My mother? That's impossible. She's not Jewish.
According to her birth certificate, she is.
Oh my God.
Breast cancer's starting to look pretty good.
Lois pays her mom and dad a visit, and turns out it's true after all. Babs lied about her heritage so Carter could keep his spot in all the rich men's country clubs. Lois is obviously shocked about the news, but Peter? He doubles down on his wife's heritage and decides to go fully Jewish.
Shalom, Jews!
Dad, where did you get all that glistening chest hair?
It came with my Star of David.
To be fair to Peter, while it does seem like some weird trend he's pulling, he seems serious about the whole family embracing Lois's roots thing, to the point he even suggests going to the local synagogue.
This is where we'll celebrate the Sabbath. Check it out, I'm one of you guys now, huh? Yeah, Holocaust, we're number one.
I mean, the spirit's right, but the execution? Not so much. Actually, speaking of spirits, while Peter's in bed that night, a ghostly spirit of his dad Francis appears to scold him for giving up on his religion.
You were raised Catholic, then you better knock off all the Jewish stuff. All right, if that's what you think is best.
The vision of his dad snaps Peter out of his Jewish obsession, but instead of just being normal, Peter goes the complete opposite direction.
This family is gonna go to hell, and I won't let that happen. Jews are gross, Lois. It's the only religion with the word ew in it.
Like, he basically dives off the deep end and turns into a full-blown anti-Semite.
Huh? What the hell?
How do you like it, huh?
Are these pieces of Stewie's crib?
I hate it here.
Lois wasn't sure about her heritage at first, but seeing Peter's sudden hatred towards it has made her double down. She's Jewish and she's gonna embrace it, starting with replacing the Griffins' Easter celebration with Passover.
I'd like to say a blessing over the candles, if I may. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Peter completely hates the idea, so goes out to get wasted, and when he comes back, he's determined he's gonna ruin the ceremony.
Happy Easter!
Peter, what the hell are you doing in that? Have you been drinking?
Not since I got out of the car.
But drunk Peter has brought a present for the family. Jesus Christ himself. That'll show Lois.
I thought it might interest you to know that I'm Jewish.
What? Prove it. What's a 9% tip on a $200 bill?
$18. Which is fair.
Jesus puts Peter straight and he decides that he's gonna forget about all this religion stuff and just go back to the way things were. Even back in 2009, a lot of the Jewish stereotypical jokes that we saw in this episode were pretty tired, but 16 years later, it's just aged far worse. You've got the punching down onto not only the religion, but the ethnicity of Jews, the use of the Holocaust and a couple jokes, and the whole anti-Semitic rhetoric from Peter. I think it's aged so poorly, mainly due to how audiences are far more sensitive to how minority groups are represented on TV these days, because in retrospect, some of the stuff in this episode, even for Family Guy, is pretty shocking. That's the first two rounds out of the way, and we're about to move into the championship rounds now. Things are gonna go up a notch in round 3. And we start the round back over with the boys in South Park, and more specifically, the episode Canada on Strike, where the entirety of Canada goes on strike. Never guessed that from the title, huh?
Canada on strike. Canada says no more. No more neglect, we want respect, that's what we're striking for.
The reason for Canada to strike is that the country wants more money, but none of the world leaders have any to spare. So the boys in South Park take up the challenge and release a song on YouTube hoping to raise some cash.
You wanna do it in my butt? In my butt? You wanna do it in my butt? In my butt? You wanna do it in my butt?
Believe it or not, Butters' butt song blows up and the boys are entitled to a whole lot of money. So they head on over to the Colorado Department of Internet Money to get their pay, but they gotta wait in a pretty big line.
Hey, I know you. You're the what in my asshole kid.
All those people waiting are other real viral YouTube creators from like 2008. The Chocolate Rain guy being Tazon Day, for example. And let's just say some of the memes here have aged, dude.
Yeah, sure. All the biggest internet stars are here. You remember, of course, Numa Numa.
Men, unless you're over the age of like 23, you're not gonna know about the Numa Numa guy in his prime. But he ain't the only poorly aged internet celebrity. There's also the Star Wars kid and a few of his friends.
And the internet sensation Cute Sneezing Panda. And there's Dramatic Look Gopher.
After waiting and watching those internet memes fight over who's the most popular, the boys secure the bag and head on over to give Canada their money. AdSense must have been huge back then because they earned a massive $10 million. Not bad. Oh, wait, it says here theoretical dollars.
Theoretical dollars? What am I supposed to do with that? You little time wasters!
Hey, we worked really hard to get this theoretical money. Yeah, everyone thinks I'm a now.
You are.
Instead of just giving the Canadians the YouTube cash, the boys decided to negotiate on behalf of them and secure them a pretty good deal. Well, it's more than they were getting anyway.
Got these coupons to Bennigan's and free bubblegum for every Canadian!
Canada sees this as a win, or they're too polite to say otherwise, and they go back to the way things were, even if people died all for a bit of bubblegum. A lot of episodes of South Park are hilarious in any year, and that's because a lot of their jokes are about universal, timeless topics. But they chuck that tradition out of the window right here. Having most of the episode dedicated to people most of the people watching this video will have never heard of is a pretty wild choice. And even if you did know them, you'd cringe watching it. I know I did. So it's a lose-lose. Then there's the whole parody of the WGA strikes to Canada's WCB. The Writers Guild strikes have become bigger and bigger as time has passed, and more people are willing to stand up for their rights. And the 2008 strike was actually called due to the rise in internet content. Like, pay writers fairly for their work if it's getting you guys money online. Matt and Trey aren't guild members and indeed crossed the picket line when most of their colleagues were on strike, so it's a pretty rough double-edged sword which ages worse by the day. It's gonna be hard to beat South Park this round, but I'm sure Seth and the gang over at Family Guy are more than up to the task. The best contender to go up against Canada on strike is the episode Jungle Love, where Chris begins his freshman year. The only problem with that is, he's gotta go through the freshman tradition of being paddled.
Freshman.
Oh, I got you.
With school now being a scary paddle-filled place, Chris is scared, so he heads to ask Brian for some advice on how to deal with things.
Look, you can't run away from your problems, Chris. That's what I tried to do. I joined the Peace Corps, and a day later I was 2 continents away.
Really?
Yep. But 6,000 miles and all the dope I could smoke still couldn't separate me from my problems.
You see, Brian, Chris is a teenage mind, and he deleted the part where you said it didn't solve your problems. Instead, he focuses on the being 2 continents away part. So yeah, Chris joins the Peace Corps, heads to South America.
All right, Chris, we're approaching your assigned village. Tell the people to work together and drink clean water. Oh, and by the way, the word colored still flies down there, so get your fill.
Specifically to a remote village in South America.
Hello. I am Chief Oleki. Welcome to my village. Our air is clean, our food is bountiful, and our water is caffeine-free. Never had it? Ha ha ha! Never will.
After a quick tour, Chris is given village clothes and begins to settle into life there. He even takes a real shine to the chief's daughter. And you know what? She doesn't seem to mind him either.
Would you like to dance?
Sure. No one's ever asked me to dance before. Boom into my heart.
Nothing dates an episode from 2005 faster than a song from 1984. But besides that, Chris is having the time of his life out there, to the point where he even writes a letter to home saying he's never coming back. So the rest of the Griffins grab the first flight to South America to see if Chris is serious.
Everybody, this is my wife, Loka. We're married.
Well, maybe here, but not in America, where God pays attention.
But with the Griffins' arrival with their Western money, they're suddenly given the God treatment.
This is amazing. You've got the biggest hut in the village and all these servants, and you've only spent $1.50.
And while Peter's getting his feet rubbed, Stewie's out doing a nature documentary.
The native man is an impressive physical specimen. Look closely at his sinewy, muscular form and unusual vitality. It is a thrill to watch him dig a ditch or lift a jug of water or participate in a hunt.
Cut, print, gay.
Chris stands up for his new family and tells his dad that he's exploiting the kind people to just escape his problems in Quahog, which is exactly what Chris is doing. And when he realizes this, he decides to leave his new life behind. That don't go down well with the villagers.
Freshman. I guess you can't run away from your problems anywhere.
Chris and the fam are chased out of the village onto a plane where they get back to Quahog. In the 20 years that this episode has been out, people have become a lot more media literate and realize that there are certain tropes that some shows use. This one is probably one of the most dated tropes of all time, the Savage Islander or Villager trope. It became famous when it was used by Popeye in the 50s, but basically it usually follows a white guy who's treated as a god by a remote group of foreign villagers before they eventually turn savage. These days, to see villagers represented as face-painted, loincloth, spear-wielding savages, hardly a subtle representation. So yeah, I think it's fair to say this one aged pretty badly. But things are about to be cranked up to 11 as we enter the final round. Which show will come out on top or bottom? Well, let's find out as we head into round 4 with South Park's Man Bear Pig. I know a lot of you South Park fanatics watching this would have seen this one fracking coming, but for those of you who didn't or haven't even seen South Park or this episode, the episode begins at South Park Elementary where the kids are being given a talk by Al Gore on a dangerous, strange creature.
You see, there is something out there which threatens our very existence and may be the end to the human race as we know it. I'm talking, of course, about Man Bear Pig.
That's right, the spooky, scary Man Bear Pig. And Al's serious. He 100% believes in it. I mean, would a guy go to this much trouble if he didn't?
Carmen, stop hugging the goddamn ball!
Don't worry, it's not really Man Bear Pig. It's me.
Seeing Al Gore's obsession with the obviously not real creature, the kids feel sorry for him and decide they'll swing by his place to tell him that Man Bear Pig isn't in Colorado. But as they do, Gore's monster alarm goes off.
Man Bear Pig screen active. What is this area of Colorado? It's a cave of some kind.
Yeah, that's Cave of the Winds. It's a tourist attraction.
Oh, Jesus, on ice skates. We've got to get down there right away.
Gore uses his political powers to get the boys excused from school so they can go looking for Man Bear Pig in the caves. But while they're down there, Gore starts shooting a shotgun, causing the cave to cave in. He manages to make a break for it, but the kids end up trapped.
What are you doing?
Leave them alone, you goddamn Man Bear Pig!
While the kids deal with being trapped, Al Gore goes and tells the authorities that Man Bear Pig is responsible.
What is that, a pig bear man?
No, stupid. It's Man Bear Pig.
Well, they don't believe a word he says, and while the boys find food and wait to be rescued, Gore has a complete mental breakdown about how serial he is.
He dead, didn't you listen to me? They got attacked by Man Bear Pig and Man Bear Pig leaves nobody alive. I'm super serial. Nobody will listen to me, but serial.
Don't feel too bad for him, though, because he takes matters into his own hands and nearly killed the kids by flooding the cave.
That's it! Pull everyone out! There's nothing more we can do!
The kids are presumed dead, and Gore gives a eulogy at their funeral, once again putting their death down to Man Bear Pig. But thanks to Cartman's big fat body, sorry Cartman, the boys float to safety and make a mockery of Al's Man Bear Pig theory.
Kids! I saved you!
Stay away from us, asshole! I was nice to you because I felt sorry for you because you don't have any friends. You just used Man Bear Pig as a way to get attention for yourself because you're a loser!
Well, that is where this entire episode ages poorly. Well, to be honest, the whole Al Gore thing is really... Basically, back in 2005, there was a big campaign and film run by the real Al Gore called An Inconvenient Truth, where he talked about the big dangers of climate change. And Matt and Trey were pretty big climate change deniers in the early 90s. So they invented Man Bear Pig as a way to parody the climate fear-mongering and also to rip into Al Gore. After more evidence came out to support climate change, Matt and Trey had no choice but to accept the science and eat humble pie. It took more than 12 years for an apology, but in season 22, Man Bear Pig was brought to life. They even brought Gore back to apologize not only to his character, but the real guy too.
I don't know if you remember us, but we're the kids you got to help try and capture Man Bear Pig? Well, you were right. Ha, you were totally right. Man Bear Pig is real and, he's killing lots of people in our town.
With climate change literally getting worse every year, every time you revisit this episode, it becomes harder and harder to believe that Matt and Trey really doubted it in the first place. But hey, at least they apologized, even if it took them a decade. That's all the bad aging the boys in Colorado have for us, but Spooner Street has one more helping coming our way, and boy, is it a biggie. The episode, Turban Cowboy, where Peter becomes addicted to skydiving.
Holy crap, this is awesome! I haven't felt a rush like this since I won that marathon.
Don't worry, we'll come back to that end bit in a bit. But the rush of skydiving has Peter in a chokehold, and wherever he goes, he's gonna do it airborne.
God, where are you? I can barely hear you.
Pull back my chair ever so slightly. Daddy's home.
His addiction goes one step too far when the skydiving high hits so hard that he forgets to deploy his parachute, so he ends up becoming impaled. While in the hospital getting the second hole in his butt treated, Peter meets Mahmoud, a Muslim man, and they both hit it off pretty well.
Oh. Hey, you know who'd look funny wearing one of those? The Monopoly guy.
Correct. Go directly to jail and convert to Islam.
Because they do that.
Yes. That is what I intended.
Mahmoud invites Peter down to his favorite hangout spot, and while it's not exactly the Drunken Clam, Peter seems to appreciate it.
Wow, this place is really cool, Mahmoud. It's like ear-bloodening sounds had with nose-bloodening smells, and this is their baby.
Well, he appreciates it as much as he can, I guess. You guys know what Pete's like. After spending time with Mahmoud, just like in the Family Guy episode, he decides he's gonna appropriate his religion and become Muslim.
Lois, I happen to be a Muslim now, which means I'll be spending a lot of my time in mostly empty cafes, watching soccer on an 8-inch black and white TV. Yes, the team I like is kicking it. Oh no, the team I don't like is kicking it.
And as always, he goes completely overboard.
Kidding? It's awesome. I even started wearing leather sandals with way too long toenails. See how the big ones are getting yellow?
Ah, yes, very Muslim.
After seeing how committed Peter is to being a Muslim, Mahmoud invites Peter to meet all of his other Muslim buddies.
Hey, is anyone going to object if I pick my nose with a dagger?
Mahmoud, who is this man? Why would you bring him here?
Do not worry, this is Peter. He believes in our cause.
How can you be sure?
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, those guys are part of a terrorist splinter cell, and with Peter being a new ally, they recruit him to help in their plan to blow up the Quahog Bridge. Safe to say, they picked the right guy.
Ah! Oh my god! Everybody down! So are these toys just like to take?
Peter heads to the Drunken Clam before the big mission is put into place, and the guys are super suspicious of Petey's new friends.
Going to terrorist sleeper cell.
What? That's crazy! Look, I'm gonna call Mahmoud right now on this cell phone he gave me. He'll tell you. Damn phone's busted. Maybe I dialed wrong.
Peter, please stop trying to call Mahmoud.
Joe knows that all he's got to do to bust the cell wide open is to use Peter as a wire decoy. Basically, he goes on the mission but while wearing a wire. Once they gather enough evidence before the bomb is put into action, Joe and the police can bust the cell before anyone gets hurt.
America must pay for its sins!
Hold it right there! Mahmoud, you're under arrest.
Do you remember when Joe was a great cop? If this episode was recent, they'd probably have Joe accidentally press the detonator or something. Anyway, the day is saved, Quahog Bridge is still up and running, and no one gets hurt.
Horace, and tell him to get our table ready.
Peter, did you just...
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Okay, spoke too soon. Well, how has this episode aged poorly, you ask? Apart from the over-the-top racial stereotypes of Muslim men, the fact that the first Muslim man Peter meets happens to be a terrorist, and as soon as Peter becomes a Muslim, he becomes a terrorist, you've got the Boston Marathon segment from right at the beginning of the episode that I promised we'd come back to. Here it is again.
Holy crap, this is awesome! I haven't felt a rush like this since I won that marathon.
Bob Costas, here with Boston Marathon winner Peter Griffin.
The big reason that this episode is aged so poorly is that just under a month after this episode aired, the Boston Marathon was the target of a brutal attack that injured hundreds of people and caused the death of 3. And as you saw in the episode, Peter literally drives through and kills people running in the marathon. If that dark coincidence wasn't bad enough, around the time, some sickos online re-edited the footage to make it look far more like the real tragedy and that Family Guy had predicted the attack. So, every time you watch this episode, you can't help but feel it's forever tainted by the tragedy of the Boston Marathon bombing. Oh, is that the bell? I wonder who won. So as the final bell tolls, the round is over, we gotta ask the question, which show was worse? And ultimately, depending on who you ask, I think the answer is subjective. I'll be honest with you guys. The script wants me to say South Park, but I personally think Family Guy was worse. So why don't you guys let me know down in the comment section which show won or lost. I don't know how to phrase this. Don't get me wrong, Trey and Matt love attacking the political flavor of the month, and sometimes that can backfire. Looking at you, Man Bear Pig. All I can say, I just hope this video doesn't age as terribly as these episodes. If you want to check out some more animated action, you can either head on over to our channel or cut out the middleman and click the video that's popping up on screen right about now. And as always, thank you for watching.